I would like to remind everyone to make sure that our cell phones are turned to the off or vibrate position. Also, please be advised, our city council meetings are broadcast on Comcast Channel 99, AT&T Uverse, and the City of Gadsden's YouTube channel. This meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order. The chair calls on City Clerk Ivan Nelson for the roll call.
Councilwoman Toles.
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
Worthy.
Here.
Back.
Here.
Councilman Wilson is absent today. Councilman Cannon.
Here.
And Reed.
Here.
We have a quorum present and our meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask Brian Harbison to lead the invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Will you pray with me? Almighty God, we thank you for the blessings of life. We thank you for giving us today, even though we don't deserve it. God, we thank you for your blessings on our city. We pray that you will anoint this council with wisdom and knowledge today and the very important decisions they'll be making. God, I ask you to continue to watch over the mayor and his staff. We thank you for your blessings. We pray that we'll keep our focus on you in all we do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the work session and council meeting held on October 1st.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
The chair will entertain a motion to ratify payments of accounts for the week of September the 27th through the October the 3rd.
So move.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
At this time, we'll have a special presentation from Mayor Gadsden.
We received some really good information from the state of Alabama. We got a letter that says the A-TRIP, which is transportation, rehab and improvement, committee has completed the fiscal year 2020 application review and competitive selection process. Your application for intersection improvements at US 431 and AL 291 were carefully considered as part of this program. I'm pleased to inform you the project was awarded a grant of $917,000 in A-TRIP funds pursuant to the Rebuild Act. The committee received 121 applications requesting approximately $148 million in A-TRIP funding. Your project was one of 28 projects to be awarded for this fiscal year. Congratulations on the successful completion application from such a competitive field. The appropriate ALDOT representatives will be in contact and concern the next steps administering this project. I'm going to break this down a little bit so you'll know more what it means to us. As a result of an A-TRIP 2 grant awards, significant road improvements are in store for one of our most dangerous intersections. 121 applications for major projects were submitted, and we were only 28 were given, and we were one of those 28. Requesting improvements on US 431 Meagan Boulevard and Alabama 201 Hood Avenue at the foot of the Meagan Bridge was selected for nearly $1 million in improvements. The project will revamp the critical intersection that connects two of Gadsden's busiest roads, Meagan Boulevard and Hood Avenue. This intersection handles a huge volume of traffic, many turning vehicles, including transfer trucks coming off the Interstate 759. This project is a key part of our infrastructure improvement plan and will benefit the residents of Gadsden. Etowah County and others traveling through our area, along with our riverfront, the other city projects improving the East Chestnut intersection, in addition to this project, that we will have better and safer travel in our area. We're very thankful to both Governor Kay Ivey and ALDOT Director Cooper for awarding this much needed funding for infrastructure in our community. We firmly believe that this project meets the goals of A-TRIP 2, focusing mostly on public safety, economic growth, and stability of the state and its roads and bridges. So we're really proud to get this. It's going to be a big improvement on the east side over there. Thank you.
Our city engineer, if there's anything that you want to add, maybe give some names of stores and things around so that people can sort of get a real visual of where it is.
Yes, ma'am. This is right at basically the east side of Megan Bridge as you approach Hood Avenue. So you've got Walgreens at the corner. Of course, everybody knows you're feeding into the main shopping center with Walmart and the other stores surrounding it. Biggest improvements, I guess, that you'll notice. Well, one thing, working within the existing asphalt footprint, big thing for us was not having to acquire any additional right-of-way. But all of the westbound traffic on 431 narrows down to the one turn lane. If you're trying to turn onto Hood Avenue, we'll add a double left turn lane there, which should help tremendously. The other turning movements will be improved on other portions of the intersection. A couple minor signal changes. But the other big part of this that we believe will help tremendously is the project that the city has already agreed to 100% fund is on the improvements at East Chestnut Street by Ronnie Watkins, all the volume increase there. That signal will be synchronized with the East Broad Street, and then you've got this one, which is the next major leg, is everything funnels in that corridor. So all those together is going to be, I believe, a major improvement for this area. So we're looking forward to it, appreciate Department of Transportation's ability to review it and approve it, and we're looking forward to getting started.
Thank you. I think that's a great thing for Gadsden. Some may not, $917,000, that's a good grant for us, and that's part of your gas tax money at work here in the city of Gadsden. So we applaud the state, the city, and the application. Just think, 28 out of 100 and, what was it? 28 out of 121, that's a good number. That's a very good number. So we applaud that, and we're very happy that we are able to receive that grant to better improve the traffic flow over there. I was at Running Walking Forward last Friday, and they said all we had to do was the city could have a lot of money. All they had to do was just park a police car right over there, and they get all the speeders that they want coming through there. Anyway, so hopefully this will help the traffic flow. Unfinished business, we have ordinance amending the city code regarding the city council members' travel expenses. And this ordinance was presented last week for first reading. It amends section 2-5 to clear up a conflict with section 2343G of the city code. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? And the discussion is, and the clearing up so that you will understand, the city council members do not and will not use discretionary money for travel. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next ordinance is authorizing conveyance of property, and this ordinance was presented last week for first reading, and it conveyed 0.47 acres of surplus right-of-way along College Parks to Cook's Foods. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
This is the time and place as advertised to conduct a hearing allowing anyone to speak in opposition or in favor of a resolution or an abatement of nuisance on property located at 340 10th Street North in District 2, State of Alabama, state subject to right of redemptions of Maybelline Minton being the last known owners. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Is there anyone who wants to speak in favor?
Madam President, I'm Brian Harbison with the Building Department. We filed this case in February of this year. There have been no improvements There have been no permits taken out to improve. We're asking today for a resolution to abate this nuisance.
That includes the car too? Okay. What is the pleasure of the council?
Move to abate.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next public hearing is a resolution on abatement of nuisance on property located at 110 Victory Street in District 3. This is Mabel McFarland and Geetra McFarland, subject to a mortgage in favor of the city of Gadsden being the last known owners. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Is there anyone to speak in favor?
Madam President, we filed this case in March of this year. There've been no improvements. There was a building permit taken out in July. No work has been done on that. We're asking today for a resolution to abate this nuisance.
What is the pleasure of the council?
Move to abate.
Second.
Are there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next public hearing is a resolution on abatement of nuisance of property located at 1406 Pierce Avenue, and this is in District 5, State of Alabama, subject to the right of redemption of Gregory N. Stevens, being the last known owners. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Is there anyone to speak in favor?
Madam President, we filed this case in February. There've been no improvements. There are no permits to improve, and we're asking today for a resolution to abate this nuisance.
What is the pleasure of the council?
Move to abate. Second.
Are there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next public hearing is a resolution on abatement of nuisance on property located at 102 South Burn Street in District 6, State of Alabama, subject to the rights of redemption of Trina Banks, subject to the mortgage in favor of Eddie Bynum being the last known owner. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution?
Madam President, based on recent improvements, we're asking that this case be tabled for 30 days. Thank you.
What is the pleasure of the council?
I make a motion, we table this for 30 days, please. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to table the resolution for 30 days, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to table for 30 days.
Our final public hearing is a resolution on abatement of nuisance on property located at 60 West Tuscaloosa Avenue in District 7. Manuel Martinez and Luis Del Rico Hernandez being the last known owners. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? If you'll come to the podium, sir, and give your name and address.
My name is Manuel Martinez. My address is 411 Riverbend Road, Altoona, Alabama. And we're doing improvements on it. We're working as we can on it. What we do with this property, I own a small business, and when we have a slow work, that's what we do on our free time to keep my employees working on it. So.
Sir, this is not in my district, but I get a lot of complaints about it. This is when the house was burned on West Tuscaloosa, correct?
Yes, sir.
And,
Yep.
you know, we get a lot of complaints about the grass growing up. You don't keep the grass cut. It's just somebody came out there recently and cut it and was about 3 foot tall with a push mower. We just get a lot of complaints about this, that the house has been sitting there for over a year like it is, and there's nothing actually really much going on. Like you said, you got a company and y'all can just
Yeah.
work on it whenever, but, you know, you're in the city of Gadsden, you live in Altoona.
Yes, sir.
We're in the city of Gadsden. We try to get these properties up to code, you know, and there's
Right.
neighbors around there complains all the time. Just to me, that's not even my district, you know.
Yeah. Every time, we usually come every 3 weeks to mow the grass. Is one of the neighbors, he come mow the grass whenever he can, because we travel a lot, we go out of town. So that's kind of where we at, and we can remedy this issue. I can keep it maintained on the outside, as we do work on.
Okay, sir, it's in my district. Johnny happens to live down there and
Mm-hmm.
probably is closer to the situation than I am, but I still get the calls. And I've been by there every week the last year,
Mm-hmm.
and there hadn't been anything done. Periodically, the grass gets high, I call it in.
Yes.
So what I'm gonna ask for this morning is to abate the property, but then you can get with Mr. Harbison, make
Mhm.
sure you do, and talk to him about any improvements that you might make, or happen to do, you know, get that
Yeah.
property up. If so, that's fine. It'll be a little bit of time before they would get around to tearing it down.
Right.
But have it in your mind that we will have it under abatement, okay? Get with Mr. Harbison on that.
Okay. Thank you.
You can do that after the meeting, sir. Thank you.
Set every 3 weeks. Slow.
Uh, What is the pleasure of the, oh, I'm sorry. Going right ahead.
Yeah,
You have to at least look at my pictures.
Okay, all right.
Madam President, we filed this case in March of this year. There have been no improvements, and as you just heard, someone comes by every couple of weeks to cut the grass. There was a building permit taken out almost 6 months ago. No work's been done on that. So we're asking today for a resolution to abate the nuisance. Thank you.
This piece of property caught on fire, and that's why nobody been in it in a while.
Does a burn, I didn't see any burns from the outside.
Must be
Yeah,
on the
it was
inside.
inside.
Oh. Now, what is the pleasure?
The inside has been replaced, and we installed all the electrical and put the sheet rock. We're working on floor right now. So I have a
Okay.
all right. I'm
What-
gonna move to abate.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Okay, and look, be sure and get with Mr. Harbison, okay? So we'll clear it up.
Yeah, Councilman Reed, this just sounds like this is a mistake that people commonly make. It sounds like they put most of their effort and work on repairing the inside of the house. And that doesn't change the perception. So the calls continue, and so what we want to encourage people to do is if you're sinking money into a house that's approaching nuisance state, then you need to start on the outside and work your way in, and that can kind of get the neighbors off the scent and get the and get the nuisance abatement, the building department off the scent as well.
I agree with that. I think the major problem in most of mine is the grass is not cut.
Yeah.
So when the grass goes up, you got all kind of problems in the neighborhood.
That's right.
So you're right. External means everything,
Yeah.
but that grass means a lot too.
You know, and securing the property where no one can get in there at nighttime, that has a lot to do with it, you know, with secure your windows. If you got broken out windows, fix those windows, and the doors, make sure the doors are locked. People can't get in and stay because, you know, winter time's coming, and we've had 2 or 3 people in Alabama City die in those houses, you know, trying to stay warm at night when winter gets here. So that's, you know, one of the main things too, bring it up to code outside.
Our next item is a resolution awarding bid number 3415 for new tires. The NEAPA coordinator recommended awarding the bid to B&C Tire, which was the vendor that had the highest percentage off the government list price in most categories. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So move.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, I talked with the,
Second.
oh,
Second.
I talked with the fleet management director the other day, last week about this, and these will be Goodyear tires.
Okay. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next item is a resolution appointing and reappointing members to the Beautification Board, and this appoints Cassandra Thomas, Glenn Day, and John Russell for terms ending July 31st, 2022. Reappoint Florence Dow, Martha Elrod, Faye Parker, Kitty Pate, Pat Sherman, and Barbara Taylor for the terms ending July 31st, 2021, and reappointing Bill Browning, Anthony Foster, and Patrice Mosley for the terms ending July 31st, 2022. Chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So move. Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next resolution is appointing and reappointing members to the Harrison Architectural Review Board. This appoints Kristen Phillips and reappoint Kathy Milam and Tim Lett for terms ending September the 15th, 2022. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
The next item is a resolution authorizing an extension of a special use permit to AT&T. And this grants a time extension for AT&T to modify their equipment at the existing wireless telecommunication facility that's located at 748 Forest Avenue. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next resolution is authorizing a lease agreement with Alabama Power Company, and this is for an upgrade of 47 existing streetlights to LED equivalents on Nakalula Road from Megan Boulevard to the intersection of Tabor Road. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next resolution is authorizing agreement with the Gadsden Elks Lodge, number 1314, and this is for the lease of a parking lot adjacent to the city parking lot on Locust Street between First and Second Street, and the amount is $5,000 for the first year and $1 per year for the rest of the lease. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? I asked the question about the amount of the $5,000, but they're going to be paving that parking lot, so that's part of what the money is for.
and relocate their fence.
Okay, and relocate their fence. Since we use that parking lot for a lot of events that are happening at 210 at the track. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So move.
Second.
Okay, clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our last item, resolution authorizing agreement with the state of Alabama, and this is for a federal aid project to complete an operational study of Broad Street from North First Street to North Seventh Street, and the estimated cost is $50,000, with the city's share being $10,000. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Is there any new business?
I have one, Madam President. This is from the Legal Department, number 536. It's requested by Parks and Recreation Department. This is a resolution authorizing agreement with Bass LLC for the Bassmaster Opens Series to be held at Neely Henry Lake on May 21st through May 23rd, 2020. This is budgeted for a maximum amount of $12,500. I'd like to ask for unanimous consent.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today as an item of new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I'd like to point out, this is a really big deal for the city of Gadsden. Congratulations to the mayor's office and to Parks and Recreation for landing this fishing tournament. This is, we have a lot of fishing tournaments here on our river, but this is kind of the next level up and can lead to some really large opportunities for the city of Gadsden. So this is a good investment. This is going to bring a lot of positive press and a lot of people to the city of Gadsden. There's a lot of fishing that goes on prior to the tournament. There's going to be a lot of press coverage, regional press coverage for this on television and print media. I think it's going to be something that we'll be real proud of, and just great for the facilities that we have. We were talking in the pre-council meeting, the planning that went into the venue also plays into this, the additional parking that's needed. There's going to be upwards of 400 boats. That also means 400 trucks. And it takes a large facility to handle this. We couldn't handle this type of a tournament prior to the building of the venue. So Mayor, thank you very much for the vision and for what you've done and with your team to bring the opportunity so we can have these kind of programs in. It's going to bring in a lot of tax revenue to the city of Gadsden, again, with great publicity.
Kmart never looked so good, did it? We have a lot of good help, trust me, behind the scenes that do a lot of good things. A lot of help. Thank you.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Department reports, committees, boards. We have a citizen request. Mr. Buster Poach on Sickle Cell Walk.
I have to get in character. Good morning.
Good morning.
Madam Presidente, City Council Mayor. I have been volunteered to present this information on this third Gadsden Idlewild East Alabama Sickle Cell Walk. Just in case you don't know, there's 4 cities that's involved in this walk in this Northeast. It's Gadsden, Anniston, Talladega, and Sylacauga. So this is the 3rd time that it's been in Gadsden. And this coming Saturday, October the 12th, the goal is to have many volunteers, walkers, to raise as much money as possible for this worthy cause. The dynamic Miss Cynthia Malone, who lost her child to the sickle cell disease, is our honorary chairman. Sickle cell disease is an inherited disorder of which a universal cure has yet to be found. There has been some remarkable improvement, but as of today, there's no cure that you can say, hey, it's all over. Sickle cell disease affects people of many ethnic backgrounds, but disproportionately affect African American. 1 out of every 10 African American will have sickle cell. 1 out of every 365 African American babies born will have the sickle cell disease. Individuals and families affected by the sickle cell disease sometimes need help with securing critical needs such as medicine, travel to Birmingham, stay in Birmingham, the hotel, the whole gamut of needs that befit these families that are someone who has a sickle cell. 25 years ago, this is very important for the sickle cell achievement. 25 years ago, a person with sickle cell disease was only expected to live to be 21 years old. That's 25 years ago. Today, the outlook is very optimistic, and affected individuals lived anywhere from 40, 50 to 60 years old and even older. That is an improvement that we all could say, yes, it's here. As we know, in order to buy bread, you need a little dough. And I'm sure this cure will be found very soon. So at this time, I would like to say, we all can say with donation, when this cure is reached, that was a commercial years ago. I think you all remember a little girl that said, I helped. We can all say that eventually, that when this cure is reached, we all help to get it done. So this Saturday, registration is at 9 o'clock at the amphitheater. We are looking for walkers, all lookers. Come on down. We expect to see all of you. And if you're wondering about my feather, this is a feather of hope and charity. Thank you very much. See you Saturday.
Thank
Buster,
you.
one question. On-site registration, you said at 9 or 8? On here it
They're
said
going to
8
gather
o'clock.
at 9. We gather at 9, but registration will start, say, whenever you get there.
Okay.
You want to be there at 6:30? I'll be there at 6:30 right up. No problem. Very important event.
Where would the walk take place?
It's going to be, it's marked out around the amphitheater. Same, I think it's going to be marked out to 6 miles, 3 miles or 6 miles, depending, or you just want to take 2 steps and turn around. It's all up to you.
Thank you. At this time, we have remarks by the mayor and council. We'll start with Councilman Reed.
Good, I'm fresh. I guess I wanna mention something this morning. I've been to just about every First Friday. The last 3 I went to were extremely good. But the conversation I had in the negative, the only negative was, what in the world is that old building on Fifth Street in Broad? I'm bringing this subject up again because we've had it under abatement, we've had it under engineering, we've had it under everything in the world, Mayor, that I can remember. But I want to bring it to the attention of the people again, since I'm questioned, and I'm sure they're talking to more people than just me. but I'm gonna kind of talk this for a while in the hopes that whoever owns the building might get busy and fix it up or sell it to somebody who will fix it up. That's all I have.
Councilman Cannon.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd just like to say that this week in Alabama City, it's going to be busy. Friday night, we're going to have music at the gazebo, starts at 5 and ends at 11. Also, the Ritz Theater, we're putting on a play at the same time. There'll be vendors on Wall Street. The streets will start being blocked off about 4:30. Just come down there and enjoy yourself. It's all for the people in the city of Gadsden.
Councilman Batt.
Yes, ma'am, Madam President. Want to remind everybody, a District 4 community meeting tonight at the Your Brown lunchroom. As I've said before, I have 3 neighborhoods in my district. Everybody's welcome to come to every meeting. This week is in Country Club in Clubview, 6 o'clock at the Your Brown lunchroom. Next Thursday, we will be meeting at the venue for East Gadsden on the 17th, 6 o'clock. Then the following week will be downtown. And I don't have my meeting place set yet, but it's going to be on the 22nd, I believe, Tuesday night for the downtown section, which I call the Edenwood section. So you're welcome to come to all 3. You're welcome to come to a meeting outside your neighborhood. I kind of think it's we get things done if we can meet in those neighborhoods to talk about things that are applicable to those neighborhoods. So look forward to seeing everybody tonight. Want to congratulate again the city and the folks, mayor's office, and Heath Williamson, our very able-bodied city engineer, on the A-Trip Award. That's a really big deal. That's another big deal for Gadsden. Having this fishing tournament's a big deal. That A-Trip Award's a big deal. I think sometimes we take big deals for granted, and I think we ought to celebrate things that happen that are really positive. So, Mayor and Heath, thank you all for what you're doing to make Gadsden a much better city. And also, I'd like to recognize 3 of my fellow council members. We were in Prattville last week at the League of Municipalities, which is the state association for cities, and 3 of my esteemed colleagues, Devrick Williams and Thomas Worthy, and Council President Cynthia Toes, were awarded Certified Municipal Official Awards. And y'all, there's designations, and I'm not good at this because I'm new at this, but Thomas got not 1 but 2 awards. Thomas got 2 awards at one time. I think he was the only person out of about 160 that got awards that got 2. So congratulations. And Devrick and Dr. Toes also received these awards. These are certified municipal awards that you work and you have to go to classes, you have to study, you have to go through this process to achieve these awards. Not everybody chooses to do this. So I think Gadsden is well served by this elected officials that do go through this process. It makes you a better city official. And we spent all day down there. I'm going through those classes myself, and so I've got another year or so before I would hopefully achieve the first level. But I learned a lot. There's a lot going on in the state of Alabama, but I also learned that we're doing a lot of good things in Gadsden. A lot of cities look to us. A lot of cities, I think, admire what we do. They admire our physical surroundings with the mountains and the river and the lakes, but I think they like our forward thinking and the way that we're positioning ourselves as a city. So, as I sat there, I'm proud to be from Gadsden. I'm proud to represent Gadsden on a state level when we attend those type meetings. A lot of good information. You learn a lot of things that other cities are doing across the state. Pick up a lot of good ideas, and you can come back and discuss those among other council members in the mayor's office and try to further improve our position as a city. So I appreciate the opportunity to attend those meetings. Every one I've been to, I've learned a great deal, and I think it's very well worth the time and investment and the money to go to those meetings. So congratulations again to fellow council members, and y'all earned that's a lot of hard work. Ben Reed and Johnny have all done that, and so just congratulations to all the group.
Councilman Worthy.
Well, thank you, Councilman. I just want to say we had a community meeting this past Thursday at Carver, and we had a good turnout. And I meant to speak on this last Tuesday and forgot. So, but the next meeting will be at Thompson, and I'll give you the date and time on it. Thank you.
Councilman Williams.
Thank you, Madam President. Councilman Back, thank you so much for those kind words. I don't want to overstate it. I mean, it's important. I think several years ago I was able to secure my basic, and we secured our, Dr. Toles and I, and Councilman Worthy attained. Councilman Worthy got his basic and advanced at the same time, and Dr. Toles and I both got our advanced. So we're excited about that. That's important, and I do appreciate the opportunity to serve. And as Councilman Back, and I really appreciate his perspective, because he, being new to the council, truly is beginning to understand why it's important for us to have a position on many of the state and local groups and within those committees, because it allows us to drive the discussions. And the point I don't want to overlook is he is absolutely correct. Gadsden gets benchmarked for a lot of what we do across the state. So we're not an afterthought. We're kind of driving the discussion in much of what we do. Many of our department heads get calls from around the state asking, hey, what is it that you're doing in this area? And I'm not going to be remiss in forgetting that Iva Nelson is the city clerk's city clerk. I mean, she's the one that they all call to get information and feedback. So again, I'm proud of that fact. And so for people who don't understand that, I feel sorry for them, because as a city, we're in a good position as it relates to that, and we're going to continue to grow. That doesn't mean we rest on our laurels. It just means that we have to continue to grow and to continue to be that example. I'll kind of dovetail from that into another item where we're really looking to benchmark and tap into best practices. Our police department, you guys may think sometimes that they're just reactive and responsive, but they're not. Our police department is very proactive, and they do quite a bit in the use of data and analytics to drive some of the strategies and things that they do. And so we understand. I actually had a meeting this morning with a commercial developer who cited a couple things. We often think that we can make comments in these meetings on television, and they don't mean anything. Well, they do. And this commercial developer cited some opportunities that we have in the city. One is when you start openly discussing in a not so positive light some of the issues associated with your largest industrial partner, that stuff hits the media, and it gets into the ears and the information that's being processed about our city, and it makes it difficult sometimes to overcome it. So that issue was raised. The Goodyear issue was raised. Obviously, we're in a position to be able to respond to that to a large degree and speak to it. And so I want to thank all of the people who have a heart for the city and who are working very hard to make sure that we support Goodyear wherever they need support. I want to thank the mayor's office and this council and everybody, all of the members of our local legislative delegation, all of our congressmen, everybody that's making calls and doing what they can do to support. I don't think anybody's effort at this point is any more significant than the other person. I think everybody's doing their part to work with our partners and making sure that we continue to have a long-standing partnership with Goodyear, whatever the future of that may mean. But again, that has become a hurdle for us. Also, there was some discussion about shrinkage. And if you have never dealt in a retail scenario, shrinkage is the term that they use to describe property theft. And so there are those among us who are making it difficult for us as a city to recruit commercial interest because they are stealing. And I know most of us are aggravated by it. Most of us are frustrated by it. A lot of us, we go in and we do our business and we leave and we don't see it. But our businesses are struggling with the issue. And so I want to thank our police department publicly, because they're doing some great things to address this issue. They're partnering with businesses, they're partnering with individuals, they're partnering with the local entities, and they're actually benchmarking some best practices in another city. So the reason I bring this up now, and I want to apologize to Chief Jaggers and Dr. Tolles in advance, because I told them I wasn't going to say anything. But the reason I want to bring this up is I have a special request for the mayor and the council. To combat that issue is going to cost money. And I want us to be prepared to put our money where our mouth is as it relates to theft, property theft in particular. Our officers need our support with that, and so we need to be prepared to address it. So I think the police department is feverishly working to get us some data and information that will help support us, but let's be prepared to address that issue, because I know that everybody in this room gets aggravated when you think of people stealing stuff that doesn't belong to them. And there's some people in our society today that don't think there's anything wrong with that. They think that's just okay, and we need to shut them up and shut them down. So again, I want to encourage each of us to step up and do our part, and I want to thank those of you who do have a heart against theft and property theft. I want you to stay tuned, because we're gonna do our best to try to address that. The only other thing I have is I want to thank, my birthday was Sunday, and I want to thank, I got a load of birthday wishes and well wishes, and I want to thank everybody who reached out and wished me a happy birthday. And also, I want to thank those who've reached out and in consideration of my father, who's hospitalized right now. Thank you so much for all of the calls, all the visits, and everything that's gone along with that. So again, thank you so much for just caring. That means a lot. That's all I have, Madam President.
Mayor.
I'm going to piggyback a little bit on what Councilman Derrick Williams was talking about. You know, the grant we got, I know a lot of people don't pay much attention to that, but when you see the difference in the traffic in this area as well in this grant, that's a big deal. We have friends in Montgomery who helped us get things like that. And I have a lot of people asking me now that they're here from some other places where they've been, like what all's going on in Gadsden. I lived here all my life, and I used to always wonder, why don't we develop the river? And, most cities would love to have a river running through downtown. And so we started working on that, and I can tell you, without the venue and developments going on the river and all that's going on, there's some bigger things coming. Buffalo Wild Wings wouldn't be here. Trust me, they wouldn't. But we got a lot of other hits that's making a lot of news. And like fishing, I've never been much on fishing. My mother was a really good fisher person, but I'd go with her. I couldn't catch one, and she'd have 5 or 6. But what it gets down to, when people come here, like these people who fish these big tournaments, they stay 3 or 4 or 5 days. Sometimes the family comes with them. They stay at motels. They go out to eat. They buy things. They shop. It's more than just a fishing tournament for the people who fish. And all that goes into money coming into the city to help us for repairs, infrastructure, and a lot of other things that we want to do. And the more people who come here, I'm told that there's approximately 300,000 people, plus or minus, within about a 30-minute drive of Gadsden. And we're the largest city around all the smaller counties. And there's more and more people coming here to shop and do a lot of things. That's why we got a lot more traffic than we used to have. And that's a good thing, because that's more money coming into city coffers to, do all kinds of things, give raises, repair things, develop other things. And it's there. You live here all your life. I have too. It's easy to take everything for granted, but trust me, without some good help that we have in all our departments, and the backing of the council, a lot of these things we wouldn't have. And we need people to work. I have a friend at one of the auto suppliers. He told me last week that he hired 12 people on Wednesday. And I said, man, that is great. I saw him again later the next week, and he said after 3 days, only 5 or 3 or 4 of them showed up. And I just don't understand that. All of us up here, we always worked. My daddy's favorite saying was, when I needed money, get another job. So that you get 2 jobs. But we got all these good jobs. We got good pay. A lot of them got benefits. insurance, retirement. It's safe, it's not dangerous, but, you know, I just don't understand people who want more that don't go get a job. It's really amazing that we've got as many auto suppliers here. And so anyway, my stump speech for the day, I guess.
I'd just like to thank all the citizens who come out and support the city council meeting, and especially the different department heads. You all do the work, but we sometimes tend to get the credit. When I walked in the clerk's office today, got a phone call from a gentleman who thanked me for the house being torn down next door because he had been asking for it. I was in Walmart and a lady came up to me and hugged me. She says, I've been on that street for 25 years and I just got it paved. And so she thanked me, but I want to thank the departments, the council, and the mayor, because it's all of us working together. And most of all, people don't have to call you and say thank you for what you've done. People don't always agree with you, so I appreciate the constituents in District 1, those who do care and those who are indifferent. And I thank all of you for coming to find out what's going on and what's happening in the city and not taking it secondhand, but getting it firsthand. So I appreciate you all attending meetings so you'll know what's going on and supporting the city one way or the other. If anything else, I ask for adjournment.